If I were to have this lantern lit in this room where there was a lot of light coming in on her, you probably wouldn't even see the glow at all because it would be too dim in this situation. So in this case, we'll just leave it unlit completely. We can light it ourselves. So let's go ahead and try to light this lantern. I'm going to go over here to this rectangular marquee tool, hold down my options for the elliptical marquee tool. On the elliptical marquee tool, I'm just going to draw a little oval shape right in there, right around where I want the glow to be. So once I have that oval shape, I can right-click and refine edge. And I'm going to feather that quite a lot. So 50 pixels for that little selection. Boo, not that much. We're going to do it again, just a little bit less. Maybe, I think maybe 34. That looks good, 35. That's a really good amount for my feather. So now I need to go in and start to make this actually look like it's glowing. So how do you make something look like it's glowing in Photoshop? This is how I've done it. There are probably many other methods, but I like curves because that's all I ever do in Photoshop is go into curves. So I'm going to go from the shadow portion of my image, and I'm going to click in that shadow portion and pull up. And the more I pull up, the more the lantern looks like it's glowing. I'll say OK. I'll go back into curves. I'll do that all over again. Make it look like it's glowing even more. Now when I go back into curves, I can go from the midtones maybe, make it look a little bit brighter. You could add some contrast to that. Say OK. It's not finished though, because if I zoom out, yes, it looks like it's glowing, but it doesn't have a glow to it, if that makes sense. It's just that little tiny area. So once I have the lantern glowing, I want to make sure that I am selecting a big circle around that. And I'm going to now let the glow loose, and it's going to let everything around it glow. So right-click, feather. Let's do 70 pixels on that. Back into curves. Can make everything brighter overall. I could go from the shadow portion again to make it glow a little bit more. And you can see now how the feathers, I want to say feathers, it's just snow, how the snow looks like it's lit up a little bit more because we're adding that light to them there. While I'm on this same step, I need that lantern to have a specific color to it. It's not going to emit white light, or at least not in my fantasy. So I need to go into my RGB channel, find my blue, and I want to take that into the yellow. And then I want to take that into the red. And I'm giving it a very specific color glow. So now when we zoom out, that lantern really looks like it's lit. You can see that it's affecting everything around it, but it's not enough yet. So I'm going to use my lasso tool now because I don't just want to create a circular effect. And I'm going to go up right here and get her face a little bit wherever would naturally be hit by that light. Going to go ahead and make sure that all of that is selected. Oops, I don't know why I started down there. I just did. And so now I'm going to feather that, let's say 40 pixels. We have a nice big feather on her there. And now when I go into curves, I can brighten her up there a little bit, make her glow a little bit more. I could even take it up from the shadows to create that glow. And then I want to change the color. That's the big thing. I want the color temperature to be the same on her as it is coming from the lantern to look like the light is motivated from that space. I'm probably going to do it up a little bit more than I did the actual lantern itself, just so then there's a clear difference between her and the rest of her body there. So now we've got a glow happening on her. I think that I overdid it just slightly on her chin, so I might just go back in there, feather that about 30 pixels, and then go into my hue saturation, just take that saturation down a little bit, whatever I need to do to make this believable.